like to speak about your right to counsel and what happens when police want to get a sample of either your breath or your blood. And the drivers have the right to speak with an attorney before a police officer can actually administer a test, as long as that request doesn't unreasonably interfere with the investigation. So normally what happens in a DUI case is that the police have about a 2-hour window to get either a blood test or a breath test conducted. And so for the vast majority of cases, there's plenty of time for an individual to speak with an attorney before that test is administered. It's pretty rare for that request, say I'd like to speak with an attorney, for that to interfere with the investigation. So there are a couple little tricks of the trade though. If you get pulled over for DUI and they take you down the station, they want you to blow into the big machine, the intoxilizer, or they want to take your blood, that request for an attorney has to be unequivocal. It's got to be very, very clear. You can't say something like, well, is it a good idea for me to speak with my attorney, or maybe I should talk with my lawyer? Anything which is a little bit hazy is not an unequivocal request for an attorney. It's got to be very clear. So if you were going to say anything, something like, I want to speak with my attorney now, please, before I submit to this test, something along those lines that makes it very, very obvious what it is that you want to do. The police officer has to give you a phone, he's got to give you a phone book, got to give you some ability to make a call, and then that call has to be private. It can't be done right in front of the police officer, because obviously that's not a real conversation with an attorney. You can't have a confidential conversation with an attorney with a police officer standing there right in front of you. Normally they're going to give you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. But you can't speak with an attorney for a couple of hours and expect that the police are going to go along with that. It's going to be a relatively short period of time for you to have that conversation. Let's say that you made an unequivocal request for an attorney. You said, officer, I very much want to speak with my attorney right now. Please give me that opportunity. And then they don't give you that opportunity. Dismissal is actually the appropriate result in a case like that, where we can prove that you wanted to speak with an attorney and they didn't give you that opportunity, especially if they did so knowingly and they did so really with essentially malice in their heart, where they knew that you wanted to speak with an attorney, they were aware of that fact, and they knowingly prevented you from speaking with an attorney before they got a sample of either your blood or your breath. So if you do get pulled over for DUI, a couple things I'd like just to go over again. One, the request has to be unequivocal. It's going to be very clear as to what you want. The police they have to give you that opportunity as long as it doesn't unreasonably interfere with the investigation. So that means that you really should make that request early and not late in the game, because you don't want them to say, well, the reason why we couldn't get a phone in their hand is because it was almost 2 hours and it was interfering with the investigation. If you have any questions whatsoever about your right to counsel, you can always give us a call. 602-989-5000 is our number, and thanks so much.